unbelievable stadium. Welcome to Old Trafford Uncovered. I'm back at my old stomping ground. Many successful memories here, but today I'm being taken about by the Man United manager, Jose Mourinho. For 13 years, I stood in this tunnel, us against them, hundreds of games. And I always thought, John Henry Davis, Mr. James W. Gibson, who are they? But thanks to them, rebuilding and reforming this club, they gave us a chance to keep on playing. It's always nice to come down this tunnel when you see a few of the old times when you won the league here and there. That was the first one. Great times at Goodison. You never thought it could happen, but it did. And this is the home dressing room. This is the beautiful, beautiful door we used to kick down. And this is where we used to prepare for matches. I used to sit here, in and around John O'Shea, Wes Brown, Darren Fletcher, then Welbeck coming into the team. Keepers always sat over there, never sat around. We wouldn't have keepers in my corner here, no chance. Keepers sat over there, Edwin, all them guys. And yeah, this is where we used to mess about. Me and Scholesy used to play two-touch. I'd stand here, Scholesy would stand there barefoot, and we'd just play two-touch. But before that, my iPod would have been on. Bang, right in there, tunes. I'd have been playing music, and I'd have been schooling Scholesy at two-touch. Bit of two-touch. No, he was good, Scholesy. He was probably the only man that could beat me every now and again. Pogba, Lingard, Mkhitaryan, Rashford, Ibrahimovic, Martial, Rooney. I can go on. I wouldn't mind bringing this dressing room. I've got the moves to get in there, I tell you. This is when you want to get back into playing football, when you come in here and you see this. You think, this is the feeling I used to get when I used to finish a match. Come in after a match, this is what I miss, this is the feeling I miss. Coming in after a match, sitting down, get back into playing football, when you come in here and you see this, you think, this is the feeling I used to get when I used to finish a match. Come in after a match, this is what I miss, this is the feeling I miss. Coming in after a match, sitting down, slumping in your chair, 3 points, yes. We've worked hard, he's worked hard, he put it in, he was rubbish. But we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. Who we got next? That's what I miss. Walking back down these corridors, there's one door you didn't want to get called into, and that was the manager's room. Because you knew that if you walked to the manager's room, there was a problem. So thank you, Jose, for coming and speaking. We're here amongst some great managers on that wall. You're regarded as one of the great managers of all time.
But not at this club.
How does that make you feel?
Not at this club. In this club makes me feel that I did nothing. Mm-hmm. Makes me feel that I did nothing. Especially because you have two legends. Many of them, but two of them are absolutely, in terms of titles and trophies, I feel that I am nobody.
Does it feel like you have something to prove?
I always have to prove, you know, but I just feel that in this club I am nobody. What I did in the club is not enough to deserve to be here. That's why I am there. That's why I am there. But yeah, when sometimes I stop and I look back, I did a lot of things. I have things that nobody else has. Details. You know, no player, no manager won Spain, Italy, and England. In these three countries, I won all the competitions, not just the league. For example, when we won against Anderlecht, I was told that I equal the record of Sir Alex and Trapattoni of 10 European semi-finals. They finish, I still have a chance to get a few more semi-finals. So there are things that I'm really proud of it.
So what does Jose Mourinho love the most about being a football manager?
If you ask me what I really is for me the priority in terms of the passion and in terms of the enjoyment, 90 minutes. Still 90 minutes.
But is that a reason why you're a winner, why you've won so many things over the years, is that you don't look back? You don't look back?
No, I don't.
You're always looking, what's next?
I don't. Sometimes just about the funny side of the memory. Go back and remember a few episodes and remember a few moments, but not at all going back and look to what happened in my career. I go always to the next. And maybe it just happened, but maybe it's also what I search. I always get the club in trouble. I never get the club in the top moment where the club is ready for me to go and to grab the cups.
Rebuilding.
You know, in reality, I won Champions League twice, and I never played the World Cup clubs because I leave after, and then I get another job, and you know. But in here,
why is that though? Why is that? Because when you win, I had opportunities to go to other clubs after winning things, but I wanted to stay and win more here, where I was, because I felt there was an opportunity to win more, and that's always the purpose, to win as many things as you can.
I think the same. But you know, my career is a longer career, much longer than a player.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to do different things. You know, as a player, sometimes there are players that they also like to go and to move. In a certain moment of my career, that was what I really wanted. I want England. Then when I was sacked by Chelsea, I want Italy, and then I want Spain, and then then I want to come to where I'm happier in terms of football, in terms of personal life. So I come back to Chelsea thinking that I could stay there for many years. Chelsea Premier League as globality. Then the things end badly, and I couldn't refuse this challenge, knowing obviously that for some reason the team was in trouble for 3 years in the situation where Manchester United was for some reason, and I wanted to grab the opportunity. The 3 years of contract gave me the idea of I'm going to have these 3 years. The feeling I got from the owners, from the board, was exactly I'm going to have these 3 years to build, to change things, and to try to put things in the right track. And it was a phenomenal challenge. And I never told because there was no need to tell. And Manchester United was a dream for me. I don't say that, but was always a club that was special club as an opponent, and I always managed, even with my strange personality as a manager, I always managed to have a good relation. You know, I never had a problem with Manchester United. I never had a problem with the fans.
I always felt that as a player.
Never.
I always felt that you would have arguments, or you'd have little spats with other clubs.
Exactly.
But Manchester United, you never seemed to have that.
Never. The only thing was with Porto, a happy run to celebrate the goal in the last minute, but I was a young guy, and if any manager does this here because his team scored a winning goal in the last minute, I will accept it.
So I was going to talk about that later, but now you brought it up. I remember that's when you announced Jose Mourinho to the world that day on the side of the pitch, celebrating passion, desire, emotion. What's the difference between that Jose Mourinho and this one here now?
You know, I really don't know. That was the first time I was playing Champions League. I was a young manager. The team was a team of kids too. We were not expecting to do what we did in these 2 seasons when we won Europa League and Champions League. No pressure, no responsibility. The responsibility was to win the Portuguese league. In Europe was to try to make money for the club, to try to go round after round and try to make money that the club really needs. But then we go into a certain moment where a young manager and good young players like Carvalho, Deco, lots of good young players we had at the time, we felt that would be a good opportunity to come, but no pressure at all. No pressure at all. I always feel that sometimes people, when a player doesn't play for a big club, he doesn't know what is pressure. And many good managers that sometimes they feel they are really good, and they are, but they are only really good when they have the pressure on their shoulders and they cope with it, and they win when people expect them to win with all the pressure behind. I think that's what makes the difference in the careers. And I think you as a player, you know exactly that, the responsibility of winning every day. And it's something that my boys, they have to learn too, because some of them, they can win a big match. They can. What I think they can't is to win it and win it and win it and cope with that intensity, especially mental intensity, the focus, the concentration, the responsibility, the determination. This is something that you only learn when you are at the highest level.
How do you as a manager put that into these young players? You identify it? How do you put
I
it
try
in?
to do it in relation to the personality of the players. For example, what I love in this kid Marcos is that he copes with the pressure, and I can press him. I can demand. I can be very demanding with him. He's the kind of kid that the training session finish but doesn't finish for him. He wants more. He lives for football. He was, of course, a tornado when he arrived last season, without responsibility.
No pressure.
No pressure. The kid is coming. And this season, when the pressure was on him and he was not scoring goals for 1, 2, 3, 4 months without scoring goals, he coped with that pressure. He coped with the pressure. And this is the kind of character I like. I like to squeeze the player and the player to cope with it and the player to react to it. For me, is more difficult, the fragile mentality. I think is, I would say, probably my weakness as a manager. It's difficult for me to understand people with a different mentality than I have.
You can't understand it.
It's difficult to understand, so it takes me time to understand, and sometimes I'm not able to feel attracted again. I think really, and sometimes I ask my assistants to help me on that, because maybe they have a different profile than I have, because for me, I want really to be in love with the player, with this character, with this personality, and that kid Marcos is the best example of it, especially in this club.
We're just under the Munich clock, Jose. The history at this club is apparent as soon as you come here. Huh? How important is it for you to transfer that to the players, so they understand the history of this great football club?
I think it's very, very important, but at the same time, I also think that they shouldn't be overpressured by that, you know. That's why I tell you, you are the first one outside to know. I ask at the training ground that is full of pictures of your history and the previous history. I ask them, and they did it already, to do a wall with the last FA Cup and the last League Cup. And people can say, this is not Champions League, this is not Premier League, but these their cups.
Yeah.
Are the two cups that they wanted. Are the two cups that they wanted. So, of course, you know, it's an amazing history. They have to feel proud to play with the same shirt as all these people did. You know, the number 11, he has to know that that shirt was Ryan's shirt, and the number 7 must know that was best Beckham Cristiano shirt. They have to know this, they have to be proud of it, but they cannot be over pressured by that.
Yeah.
There is not another Giggs, there is not another Scholes, there is not another Rio, there is not another Best. That is, you know, they have to be what they are and they have to cope with it. And this is a part of my job that I have to be responsible for.
So we're just approaching the United Trinity. Best, Laura and Charlton, great players. What is the difference now, do you think, in terms of dealing with the current type of players compared to this era and the players when you first started?
You know, I think in this time, you could think about being a club for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think not just in that time, probably also in your time, you become rich in the end of your career. In this moment, they are rich in the beginning of their career.
Does that make your job harder?
Yes. Yes, depends obviously of the players. You need to be lucky with the players. You need to be lucky with the parents. You need to be lucky with the people that surrounds them. Maybe it's harder to motivate them. It's harder to make them focus in what they have to do. If they are not the right mentality, they can lose a little bit of appetite. If they are the right mentality, and if you are rich, it makes you even better. But if you don't have the right mentality, it's hard. It's hard.
You've been in many times. Do you know in the tunnel, do you ever stand behind your team? Because you sometimes see you on the camera. Are you seeing teams win and lose matches in the tunnel?
Not win or lose, but start winning or start losing. Yes, I think there are some details that sometimes you can start feeling it.
Fear.
I don't say fear, I say more focused, concentration, not friendly. You can be polite with your opponent, but not friendly.
Like, I don't understand. When I was in the tunnel with my friends, they always just say, "Why are you so serious? You just say hello and that's it." I never wanted to be friendly, but you see some guys, it's cuddles, shaking the hands and...
Yeah, you can for a second. I think you can for a second, but not be talking and, you know, it's for 90 minutes, but for 90 minutes, you know, you play against your brother. Some guys, they play against each other, big friends, you know, but football is football. Football is to win. Football is not to enjoy. The enjoy is winning. So I always have this kind of mentality. So
Are there any tunnels where you thought, this is hostile, this isn't a good place to be?
You know, in this one, when it's hot, it's hot. In our time, 2004 to 7, 8, where the title was between us, I always felt that here was hot atmosphere. But I think the big players they like, the big managers they like. I think just make us better. But this one becomes special for me. Becomes special for me for many reasons. My first tunnel in England, because it was the first time I played in England, was here, and my tunnel now, my home. I feel it that way. I feel big connection with the fans. I think they like me or they don't like me, but I think they know for sure that I'm fighting for them.
And this little bit here takes me back to a clip I saw of you walking off,
Yeah.
tapping the badge.
Yeah.
What was that saying? What was that telling people?
You know, honestly, I come with the tracksuit, which I normally don't do it. I did it because it was Chelsea, and because I want to make it clear that I'm not Chelsea anymore. Chelsea is in my history. I am in Chelsea history. I have huge respect for the fans, huge respect for the fans. They gave me so much, but I am not Chelsea anymore. I am Manchester United. So I come with the tracksuit because the tracksuit has the badge, because I can show everyone my feelings.
So that was calculated before. You knew.
Yeah.
You knew what.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did it because I wanted to finish with the story of my connection with Chelsea. It's just about history, and if one day I'm not at Manchester United and I move to another club, I will do exactly the same, because it's about being a super professional, and that I am. That I am, and I don't admit that anyone doubts about it. Good manager, bad manager, okay, I understand. But top pro, I am, and I always gave everything to my clubs, and my club is Manchester United.
Is that what you pride yourself on? Is that before anything? Is your work ethic?
Exactly. I go with everything. I don't care about the consequences. I get sometimes myself into difficult positions, you know. I fight for the club with everything I have. I fight for the players. I did that. I did that in Real Madrid, in the best period of the best Barcelona in the history, in Inter, in the top moment of the rivalry Inter Milan Juventus, where the three clubs were in the top of Italian football. I did here when I came to Chelsea, and Chelsea 2004 was the club of the multi-millionaire that tries to buy the title. That was the way Chelsea was on 2004. I fought for them with everything, and now I do Manchester United, and I will do everywhere. But hopefully, I do here many years.
I mean, I look at when I was a kid. I think a lot of influences came from my family, my dad, my mum. My dad's dedication to get me to training, to home from matches, back to training again, and that kind of instilled in me that work ethic. Is there any influences from when you was younger?
You know, I felt as a kid. My father was a good manager. He was in Portugal Premier League, I would say 8-9 years. He was champion of the championship 4 times. So he was a good manager in that generation. I always felt that he could and should be much better, because he didn't had that extra piece of confidence, of desire, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to try to be better. I learned a lot with him, of course, with the experiences he gave me. But you know, I had something that drove me. Maybe the fact that I was not a good player. Maybe because when I started as a manager, especially in that generation, was the thing of, if you were not a good player, you cannot be a good manager. I think in this moment it's broken.
Is that why you became like a student? It seems like when I've heard you speak before, when you was doing your apprenticeship under Bobby Robson.
I was born in football. I play football at young level, at lower levels, but I was born in football. I was born a player's son. I grew up a manager's son. I was always inside. I went very early to big clubs. I arrived in Barcelona with 30, 31 years old. You know, that team that I had in...
What was it like going in there, though? Like, that must be intimidating, no?
You know,
it
was not, because I was pretty confident. And a few years later, even now, when some of these guys, they give interviews and they are asked about me, how I was. For example, when a guy like Christos Stoichkov speaks about me, saying, when we saw this young guy come into the dressing room, who he is, how can he do? But then when we see him coaching us, and the way he was coaching us was amazing, and we had lots of respect for him. You know, and that team was incredible. Was Cristo and
Romario, no?
Ronaldo, no, Romario, no. Was Cristo, was Ronaldo, was Luis Figo, was Miguel Nadal, was Pep, Luis Enrique, Ferrer, Gica Popescu, Sergio. Was amazing, and for me to go there, you know, when I got the job in Benfica a few years later, was my first job as a manager. You know, was not a shock for me because for 3 years I had to deal with these guys, the best in the world every day. So I was lucky. I was lucky because the process that leads to my formation as a manager was very good.
You had Ronaldo. You mentioned it like this is my guy. I love him. The Brazilian Ronaldo. Is he the best player you worked with?
You know, he was amazing. He was incredible. He could do anything. I think if he was the same professional as the young Ronaldo, or if he had the same needs as Cristiano, he would be amazing for 15 years, and he wasn't for 15 years because he had so many big injuries, especially in Italy, and because he was the best in the world, but he never stopped to enjoy his life. He had goals, amazing. People remember one in Compostela where he dribbles absolutely everybody, but I prefer another one. I prefer another one against Coruña at home where he gets the ball, and then I think it's Donato, Mauro Silva. They come both to kill him, and they kill each other. They kill each other, and he jumps over them, and he scores a goal. Amazing player. But even on that, as a manager, you learn with the big players. They can learn with you some tactical concepts, but as a manager, I learn with the big players, with things I see them to do, with questions they ask you. Sometimes you get questions from the big players that you must be a very good manager to answer to their questions. So I was really lucky in the way my career develops. I played the Spanish derbies, so many of them. I played the Italian derbies, the Portuguese derbies, the English derbies. All these countries' finals, cup finals, play for the titles. Amazing experience of life. If I finish my career tomorrow, I should be very happy with my experiences. But the problem is that my career just reached half of it. I have 15 more years.
So you're still hungry inside.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.